Muhammad Abdus Salam was a Pakistani theoretical physicist. He was born on January 29, 1926 in Santok, Punjab, which used to be a smaller town located in Pakistan. Unfortunately, he passed away on November 21, 1996 in Oxford at the age of 70 from Parkinson's disease. His father, Chaudhry Muhammad Hussain, was an education official in a poor farming district. When he was 14 years old, he was attending a school in Jang, Punjab, and realized he had a deep passion for both math and science. At this time, he had received the highest ever marks on the Punjab University's entrance examination, only at the age of 14. And as a result of this accomplishment, he received a scholarship to the Government College University, which is also known as the University of Punjab. However, before going to study there, his father wished for him to join the Indian Civil Service in 1944. This is because at the time it was an extremely high position to hold in society, but due to Salam wearing spectacles from a very young age, he did not qualify. Furthermore, he excelled in both Urdu and English literature as well, and his tutors wished for him to become an English teacher. He did not do this either, though. And then he graduated with an MA in mathematics in 1946 at the age of 20. In that same year, he was awarded a scholarship at St. John's College in the UK. And in 1950, he obtained a PhD in theoretical physics from the University of Cambridge, and during the rest of his time, while he was working on many new theories, in 1957, he began his career as a professor of theoretical physics at Imperial College. In his time as a physicist, Salam made many contributions to science. He developed the theory of the neutrino, a subatomic particle proposed by Pauli in 1930, worked on electroweak unification theory, a theory named by him and one of his most major discoveries, made a prediction of the parity violation, worked on the meson theories, made the Paty-Salam model, and predicted the W and Z bosons and the magnetic photon in 1966. Now I will be briefly outlining two of the many discoveries and theories I've listed above. First, I will go into more detail about the neutrino. According to Scientific American, a neutrino is a subatomic particle that is very similar to an electron but has no electrical charge and a very small mass, which might even be zero. Salam just introduced chiral symmetry, which is spontaneous symmetry breaking, in his theory of the neutrino, and then passed it on to another Pakistani physicist. The second thing I would like to delve deeper into is the prediction of the W and Z bosons. W and Z bosons are particles which comprise of the weak interaction. They are both each other's antiparticles. Salam made this prediction while working on electroweak unification theory and proposed not only the W bosons necessary to explain beta decay, but also a new Z boson that had never been observed before. Now I will be discussing one of the discoveries I mentioned above in much more details, more specifically the electroweak unification theory. According to Britannica 2016, electroweak theory is the theory that describes both the electromagnetic force and the weak force. This theory is a principal component of the standard model of particle physics. Salam and two other physicists, Sheldon Lee Glashow and Steven Weinberg, became intrigued by finding a way in which to relate the electromagnetic and weak forces, following Wu's experiment in which he discovered parity violation. According to Stanford University, parity violation is when the rate for a particle interaction is different for the mirror image of that interaction. As said by another source, Salam mainly questioned whether the various forces that govern everything in nature might actually be manifestations of the same basic force. In the 1960s, while all of them were still working on this theory, each of them came up with their own mathematical theory. He formulated a mathematical theory which unified only two, electromagnetism and weak interaction, of the four main forces of gravitational, electromagnetic, strong, and weak. Ultimately, this theory aids in showing and proving how the electromagnetic and weak forces are varying aspects of the same force, despite having very different overall energies. These two specific forces combine into the electroweak force. It was soon discovered that at extremely short distances, the strength of the electromagnetic force was equal to that of the weak interaction. And because of this, it was concluded that both those forces possess an equal amount of strength. Furthermore, they believed that this unification would not be apparent or visible. And mainly to summarize this difficult physics concept, he basically showed that there is not really a difference between weak forces and electromagnetic forces. There were many negative societal effects of Salam's contributions to the electroweak unification theory in his own country of residence, which was Pakistan. This is due to the fact that Salam was a part of the Ahmadi minority of Islam, which has been long persecuted in Pakistan and around the Muslim world. After he received the Nobel Prize in 1979, along with Sheldon Lee Glashow and Steven Weinberg, for his contributions to the theory of electroweak unification, Salam was then invited to Quaid-e-Azam University in Islamabad for a celebratory ceremony in his honor. However, when he tried entering the building, students began attacking him and were threatening to break his legs if he dared enter the university campus. Additionally, in 2014, his tombstone in Pakistan was defaced and the word Muslim was crossed out. One of the positive effects of his discovery is that in 1964 he founded the International Center for Theoretical Physics in Trieste, Italy, in order to promote growth and support scientists in developing countries. Furthermore, one of the major positive impacts of his work above is that his work paved the way for the 2012 discovery of the Higgs boson particle. Because of this, it would also have a huge economic impact on the scientific world, as the total cost of simply finding the Higgs boson ran about $13.25 billion. Overall, there seem to be no environmental impacts from the electroweak unification theory. Much of Salam's work has been heavily influenced by his family background and the culture of his country of residence, Pakistan. Firstly, it is because of his family background that Salam decided to pursue a career in theoretical physics. This is because his grandfather, Gul Muhammad, was a physicist as well, and growing up around him, this must have influenced his career choice. Also, during the time of Salam's work, Pakistan was not dedicating any effort towards research and scientific development, and the rate of illiteracy was extremely high. Moreover, the importance of scientific knowledge was not apparent to many Pakistanis at the time either. Specifically, he found that the government hardly spent even 1% of Pakistan's GDP on scientific research. As a result of this, from 1960 to 1964, he became a member of the Pakistani government as a scientific advisor in order to change these shocking statistics and to improve Pakistan's scientific infrastructure. In addition to this, he also founded the International Nathi Agli Science College in 1975 in Pakistan to promote science and physics in the nation. Ultimately, in an interview, Salam once said, "I have two frustrations in life. One about the low status of scientists in Pakistan and the other regarding the poor state of science in the Islamic world." So another thing he did is he established the Pakistan Institute of Research and Technology in 1965 to continue to bring awareness to the immense importance of scientific research. Furthermore, I believe that because of his family background, specifically being an Ahmadi minority, and the hate he received from his own country, motivated him to prove people wrong and to show that although he is from a hated minority, that will not stop him from doing what he loves and making huge discoveries in the scientific world. Furthermore, his work was driven by his desire to put Pakistan on the road to prosperity through science, and a missionary's zeal to revive science in Islam. Abdus Salam had a very kind heart. When he received the Nobel Prize for his work, the victory and accomplishment for his discovery only had to do with Pakistan. However, right after, he contacted the Indian government in hopes of finding his math teacher from Sanatan Dharma College in Lahore, named Professor Anilendra Ganguly. When he finally met him again, he took his Nobel medal and said, "Mr. Anilendra Ganguly, this medal is a result of your teaching and love of mathematics that you instilled in me. I believe that this goes to show that often recognition never goes to those who taught successful people." Additionally, even after 4 decades passing, Salam still hasn't received recognition and respect in his own country of residence, and instead, his country only believes that Sheldon Lee Glashow and Steven Weinberg contributed to the electroweak unification theory. Moreover, in the case of the discovery of the neutrino, although Salam developed the initial theory of the neutrino, in the United States, all of the credit was given to Clyde Cowan, an American physicist, just because he found the neutrino. Also, there once was a debate on who the Nobel Prize should be given to for the prediction and discovery of parity violation. Salam's proposal was that parity could be violated and neutrinos were left-handed. After this, several renowned physicists began telling Salam that he was bound to share 1/3 of the Nobel Prize with Li and Yang. During the same time period, two American physicists, T.D. Li and C.N. Yang, suggested that parity could be violated in nuclear beta decays so that the reflection of a beta decay in a mirror would not represent a physically allowed process. Despite Salam's huge contribution, the Nobel Prize was only awarded to Li and Yang in 1957. But for the most part, for each discovery and theory of Salam's, he was given recognition for each all around the world. Also, one fun fact is that not too long ago in 2018, Netflix released a documentary about Abdus Salam, and it was titled Salam, the First Muslim Nobel Laureate. And it was basically made in hopes of reminding people of who he was and his many accomplishments.